Sarah Ochwada, beautiful young lady. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I have not seen anyone tweet as much as you did yesterday. There are quite a number of tweets coming in, but that to me just showed your dedication to what it is you're doing. And remember, we'll have our phone lines open. You can engage and be part of this discussion. But Sarah, you've been raising money. You're on a funds drive. It's Sindikiza Snow Legal, and we'll have a split screen. You'll see some of those banners and the campaign she's been driving. But tell us about what is Sindikiza Snow Legal campaign about?
Okay, well, Sindikiza Snow Legal is a fundraising campaign, but I've been running it primarily online. Okay. Sindikiza obviously is a very Kenyan term. It's Swahili for escort, but we use it all the time when we're fundraising. And Snow Legal is my brand. I started off writing fashion blogs when I was in university. Right. Initially just to educate models about their rights in the industry, because I used to be a model. Okay. And then it kind of grew from just modeling to entertainment law and sports law. So with my career and with everything that I've been doing, everyone knows me as Snow Legal, because the first point of interaction with me is on the net. Yeah. So Sindikiza Snow Legal is about trying to get me to Spain. I'm going to do my master's degree this year, actually. My master's in international sports law, and I'm going to be the first African woman to have a degree in international sports law, which is fantastic. Wow. And it's such an amazing program. Yeah. I'll be in Spain for about 6 months, just learning from all the great lawyers from the likes of FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, everyone who is in charge of an international federation or a sports club or a sports entity. Yeah. Those are the brains who are going to be teaching me. Amazing. And that's what I want to bring back home. Wow. So after my first 6 months, I'll be moved to Switzerland, where I'll do my internship well, I haven't quite decided yet. Yeah. But it's going to be at an international sports federation. And that's where I'll meet and mingle with everyone I need to know. And hopefully, just like I said, bring that knowledge back home, because I think our sports people have been suffering enough and we need more structures. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. That is so amazing. So all football fans, sports lovers, they so need to support this. Yes. But we have an understanding of where, at least with the entertainment you come from, you used to be a model and all that, but sports, yes. Where is that coming from? I'm also a sports person. I did athletics when I was in high school, and a bit in law school as well. I was in the basketball team in high school and law school, and right now I'm doing archery, which is a sport not many people know about. Oh, yeah. Yes, it's very dangerous. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you want to be able to come, and what exactly is the input you feel the blanks are, the gaps are in as far as sports in Kenya? It's just one major gap. Sports people do not know what is expected of them in terms of the law, and they do not know what to expect from their federations or their clubs or the communities around them. And for me, it's a matter of, let's try and get dignity back to these people. If they're spending so much time training and bringing glory to the country, but they're not earning enough for themselves, and the people who are getting the money are not trickling it down to the people who are actually deserving it, and those are the people who worked hard to bring glory to our country, then there's a problem. Yeah. So I started off with just, no one taught me sports law. It's not taught in any of our universities in Kenya. But I went online. I followed sports lawyers on Twitter. I joined groups on LinkedIn. I subscribed to online sports journals, and I actively looked for mentors within Kenya who've been in the sports world, just to see what has it been like over the past 50 or so years in sports. What do we need to do? And so one thing led to another, and eventually I got in touch with a few officials in the Ministry of Sports, and they said, I think we can use your brains when coming up with the Sports Act. So I sat with them for about a year or so, and finally the Sports Act is here, and I'm glad to say I was a part of that.
That's amazing. And you know, Sarah, one would ask, why not just do regular kawaida fundraising, harambee watu boyas, they come 1,000 kila mtu, have this money. Why this online campaign? Tell us how it does also, from when did you start? How has it done so far? How much money have you been able to raise?
Okay. Well, initially, I started this campaign because it's a phenomenal amount of money that I need.
How much?
I need 3 million Kenya shillings for tuition alone.
Wow.
And about 3 million Kenya shillings for my upkeep in Europe, because there's a lot of travel involved, and the cities that I'm living in are not two bob towns.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's expensive. And this is a problem that I encountered. There were no scholarships for sports law.
Okay.
And if there were scholarships for sports law, they were only available for EU residents. And every other scholarship that I came across had nothing to do with sports law. It was just gender and violence, conflict resolution, things that mainly people outside think Africans need, but they don't understand that Africa is a lot more. Has a lot more to, it has a lot more to offer than just conflict and negative issues. So that was the problem that I encountered, and so in trying to think of how can I raise money in a way that will not cost me my arm, my leg, both my kidneys and my spleen, and at the same time not cause my parents too much of a struggle, because they brought me this far, and I think I'm smart enough with all the education I've had to try and raise money in some creative way. So the idea came up over a few weeks, different conversations I had with my bosses, my colleagues, but the one conversation that really struck home was the one I had with one of my cousins. He is in university, he's an engineering student, and he's on HELB. But he said, I want to support you, Sarah, I just don't know how I can do it. And even though I gave you a little money, I'd feel so ashamed because it's not as much as what everyone else would give. So I told him, that's okay, give me that 100 bob and I'll show you how amazing an opportunity 100 shillings can create. So I went back and thought about it, and I was like, I have a pretty good network of people in sports and entertainment, and most of the time my friends are like, I wish I could get to meet all these amazing people that you meet. And I was like, maybe we can do something about that. So I had a wish list of people in media, sports, business and entertainment.
And we're seeing some of those pictures of those celebrities, people in the media, sports personalities holding that, Synda Snow Legal, Sindikiza,
So I just had a wish list, and I was like, let's see if I can get some of these people involved. I asked them to donate just 1 hour of their time to meet and mentor one lucky Kenyan, and whatever they choose to do with that one lucky Kenyan is up to them. They're the ones who are designing the hour of the time they're going to spend with the winners. So I came up with that concept, and I spoke to some amazing guys from Space Kenya and Wive, and they said, we can actually do this online, and it's kind of like a crowdfunding concept. It's never been done in Kenya before, but I'm sure you can do it. So they set up my website for me, and the whole M-Pesa issue came up very differently, because initially I had been in talks with Safaricom, but it reached a point where like we can't really help you with the technical side, so you'll have to figure out how to do it on your own. Luckily for me, I figured it out, because every time I have to deposit money into my bank account, I could do it very easily through my phone and M-Pesa, and it goes directly because they have a payable number, and then once you send the money through, then it sends you back a code. So I thought that's very safe, and no one can tamper with this sort of system. So I set it up, put all the details excuse me, of my website, and we were good to go. But it wasn't without challenges, I can say. It took me roughly 2.5 months to get all the mentors on board. There are about 16 of them.
Give us some names for some of the mentors you have.
There's Julie Gishuru, Janet Mbugwa, Dr. Mani Chandaya, Sauti Soul, Juliani, Biko Adama, Collins Injera, Azar Anwar, who was amazing. who haven't I mentioned? Wahiga Mwaura.
Yeah, so quite a number of different fields.
Yes.
You get them together.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is you can send your 100 shillings. Once you get your code, confirmation code, you can pick whichever mentor you'd like to meet and hang out with and learn from.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the...
For just 100 shillings?
Just 100 yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And that, I think, was just an interesting concept for even the mentors themselves. And they said, yeah, let's do it. And in fact, some of them said 1 hour is not enough. I'll give like a whole day to whoever comes. And some of them are let me say, they're planning some amazing days for their winners. I think G-Money wants to fly his winner down to Coast for the day. And yeah.
So amazing that using that you're raising money, but at the same time you're doing this amazing mentorship program, facilitating that for people to be able to go in there and giving in 100 bob. Are you also getting direct donations?
Yes, yes. Because some people said, I want to give more than 100 shillings.
Yeah. So
for me it was, how can we sort of make it a donation that you will find you're comfortable with, because there's so many ranges in terms of the wealth distribution in Kenya. Let's see how we can deal with that. So I came up with 3 groups of people. There are people who are donating 100,000 shillings. I call them my super one raisers. And then I have my list of golden 50s, because I thought it's the Jubilee year. Anyone who gives me 10,000 bob, you're in the golden 50 list. And then my one raisers, everyone who sends me 1,000 bob. And funny enough, people are like, why are you telling us how much to give? Why can't you just give you an amount? And I said, sometimes it's a psychology of giving. Some people want to give money, but they don't know how much to give. And some would like to give a lot, and others will give, I think I have this much, or I have this little. But it also helps with determining which amount people can give you and what they're comfortable with. So it's been working. People have been sending 10,000 or 1,000, and others were saying, okay, I can give a bit more. Is it okay to change the amount?
Change that up?
Yeah, sure. So 500 or 2,500, and it's been amazing. But I'll have to say, give a lot of credit to my family. They've been such an amazing driving force. My mom and my brothers and my uncles, they're the ones who've been going out and saying, you need to Sindikiza this woman.
Yeah, Sindikiza Snow Legal.
Do it.
So how much have you been able to raise?
So far I have about 2,086,000. And I have about 1 million to go, so that I can reach the cap to pay off my entire fee. Luckily for me, there's someone who's offered me accommodation in Madrid, so that cuts down a lot of
the accommodation.
Yes. And now we're working on what can we do once I get to Switzerland. So I'm hoping to have a bit of a conversation with the board of National Olympic Committee. They get to know me, I get to know them, and hopefully it will open up a few doors in Switzerland, and I'll get a really good internship, which I'll be taken care of.
So when are you supposed to leave? Today is the 15th.
Yes.
When do you leave?
I leave on the 20th.
That's 5 days.
Yes, that's Monday.
4 days away. Wow. So you need to get this 1 million in 4 days.
Yes.
And I'm sure there are people watching this show right now who can Sindikiza Snow Legal.
Yes,
what do you tell them? Because at the end of the day, what I like about this first is that it's creative. You don't just sit back, and go the normal, regular way fundraising. Is that you found a way not only to benefit you, but hundreds others. 100 shillings to get mentorship, Manu Chundari and all the other great people we mentioned, that's huge. So very creative, helpful to others, not only yourself, and also just what it is you're going to study. That is unique. You'll be first, you said, African woman to have those qualifications and to bring that home. And with a country where sports is huge, we get a lot of glory from that, and it unites people. It has a way of just bringing everybody together. So for me, this is just one of those very inspirational stories. And so for anybody watching, they must Sindikiza Snow Legal in their own way. So how do they do that if they want to help?
What you can do is just get on the website, snowlegal.com. That's SNOLEGAL.com. You'll click on the tab written raffle, and there's a set of instructions to follow. There's 6 very easy steps. If you have M-Pesa, you can do it just as you're seated. Send the money to go directly into my account, so that way there's no way of how can I say, losing money.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay.
That's all you have to do.
That's
sit down and send some money, and that's it. But you have to get online to get the instructions.
Okay. So Snow Legal,
www.com. Yes.
Okay, snowlegal.com. So they can go on there and find out. In terms of, you've mentioned some of those challenges, but going through this period, what other lessons you've been able to pick up with, of course, the conversations you've had to have with different people, just this something you've not done before, but getting to do, what is it you've drawn from this period?
Oh, wow. I have learned that once you start thinking you can do something, amazing things happen. And you can literally rule the world if you have to.
Amen to that.
And another thing I've learned is Kenyans are always supportive. Despite the fact that people say Kenyans are so busy. First of all, you had Westgate, then you have hunger in Turkana, then you're coming with this.
Yes.
Someone who was a model and who is a lawyer and who is expected to have money. Why do you think Kenyans would help you, and how do you think Kenyans would relate to you? But the one thing I've learned from Kenyans is that so long as there's an idea and you're trying to help yourself, they're always willing and ready to help. Like, I have spoken to people from all walks of life: Indians, Muslims, Christians, whites, Africans. I mean, and they're all interested in helping in any way they can. And even people from a lower economic background, like I personally took my posters to the CBD myself. I went into DVD shops and restaurants and cyber cafes, and I asked people, is it okay if I hang my posters in your premises? And they said, fine. In fact, give me 4. I know a few other places you can take them to. And just people on Twitter who found me on Twitter just when they were randomly tweeting and engaging in conversation with them, talking to them about what I'm doing and how I'm trying to achieve it. And they get a passion to do things for themselves.
Yes.
Because there's so many times you have a dream to achieve something great, but it's always hampered by people who say you can't do it. Not because they don't want you to, but because maybe circumstances prevent you from doing it.
All right, let's take a call from Martin from Githurai. He calls in. Good morning, Martin. Martin. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
We're good. Thank you for calling. Do you have a question or comment?
Okay, congratulations at the meeting.
All right, Martin, your line is not very clear, but I've definitely picked out your message, which is to congratulate Sarah for what she's doing. I also picked that as well. Thank you for calling, Martin. We appreciate, and it's indeed important that you keep up, and it's kudos to you, and it's an encouragement. As you said, other people have picked on this. It has encouraged them to do something as well. But also just looking at the young people in Kenya. And in terms of education, we just had the results released, KCP, the other day. It's all about admission, and conversation has shifted into education system and the opportunities where those who will not be absorbed into high school will go, and then there are millions others who are unemployed. It's a murky, crazy, not very good situation in as far as that is concerned. But being a young person, clearly very driven in what you want to achieve, what do you tell other young people?
You say, even though you don't have the opportunities there for you, you can always create an opportunity for yourself. It is possible. I've done it. There's no one in Kenya who can say, I sit down and practice sports and entertainment. But through being proactive and looking for ways and means to figure out how I can be helpful in society, I found that opportunity and a means by which I can make a living. It's not such a great living right now. I mean, there are times I go without pay, but I never lack. There are times where people need my services and all they have to do is say, we have chai. can you just come and help us out? And I say yes. There are times where I've had to get into a matatu and go all the way to Machakos just to visit a group of people who are starting a sports club, and they say we can't do anything else for you. Joi Githeri, Joi transport ya nyumbani, just come and spend some time with us. I've done that. And the value I get from it is a satisfaction of serving others. And once you get what your calling is, and that's usually a service to others, then you'll be very happy.
Yeah.
You'll be very happy and you'll be content with what it is that you're doing. So don't think that someone out there must give me something to do. You're not entitled to anything in this world. That's something that I've
Well
learned.
said.
You're not entitled to anything. Use the little resources you have available to you. Even though it doesn't mean that you have money, you have brains, you have your skills, you have your talents, you can do something about it. And even though your ambitions are great, I'd just like to tell all my fellow youth that ambitions, no matter how big, no matter how preposterous, are not the preserve of the privileged. It's not a matter of you having money. It's a matter of you just having that drive within yourself.
Yes.
And things will work out.
Wow.
Take a first step and things will work out.
Yeah, and it's always about looking inward, because I like what you say. Bottom line, I always say the fact that you're here, that you made it, you're alive, you're living, you're not dead today. There is something you're here to do. So when you can figure that out and run with it, and not be the person who look for reasons to complain, or why this is not working, why the government and who is not doing what, and just find a way of running your race best you can. It's amazing, and you inspire people. So thank you for being part of our show. We wish you the best. And I saw quite a number of people, those people you've been able to mention as well, just retweeting. So you have a lot of people cheering you on, rooting for you. And there's one very important question though, Masters, as well, is how long will this take before you come back? You mentioned the 6 months of the Masters, and then there's internship. You're not clear about how long you may take with that, but when are you likely to be back home?
I'll be back by Christmas.
Okay.
It's just a one-year plan, but I'm so looking forward to coming back, because I've also had a few talks with the deans of law schools, especially Riara and Strathmore, and they're very interested in seeing how they can incorporate sports law into the curriculum. Even though we don't have a master's program for sports law, which I really encourage that we must have, because this is a need that our society has, we must at least have an elective course in the universities. Anywhere where there's sports and anywhere where there's a university, at least have an elective course in sports law in each faculty of law. That's my dream and my vision, and let's see how it will go once I come back.
Wow, you're a superwoman. You're a superwoman. Congratulations. We wish you the best. Everybody, Sindikiza Snow Legal. That's the website, www.snowlegal.com. Find out details of how you can chip in, how you can lend a helping hand. And I hope we can catch up after the 1 year.
Definitely.
Next year, if I was over here. Or whoever, it will be good to catch up and see how that was, because I'm sure you will draw quite a number of experiences. You'll come back rich with knowledge and to help and to be able to be a huge input in our sports sector in the country. So thank you, and all the very best. Sarah Ochwada with us. Follow her at Snow Legal on Twitter and find out more about her campaign on her website, snowlegal.com. Sindikiza Snow Legal. Yes, Sindikiza Snow Legal.